There is a whole lot of anti-Semitic content on digital platforms like YouTube and Facebook. Why? Because this anti-Semitic content, for the most part, is coming from the left. It is pro-Hamas stuff. It is stuff that is openly calls for the destruction of the Jewish state, the elimination of Israel from the river to the sea. And all of this stuff is vile and, in a sense, genocidal. It is a celebration of what Hamas did. It is a call for more of the same. And yet, it is not restricted or banned on those platforms, even though the platforms claim that they are regulating hate speech. This type of hate speech is acceptable. And moreover, you have advertisers very comfortably advertising on YouTube, on Google, which owns YouTube, on Meta, and on Instagram. And some of those same advertisers, in fact, a prominent set of them, are boycotting X. And they're boycotting X because they claim X is anti-Semitic, or they claim Elon Musk is anti-Semitic. So let's talk for a moment about those things. First of all, there is less anti-Semitic content. I mean, in a free speech platform, you're going to have people say whatever they think. And so it's not a case where if someone is saying something that's legal, they're going to be banned on X. But nevertheless, there is less anti-Semitic content, and frankly, I never see it. The only anti-Semitic content I see on X is from the left. Again, it is directed against the Jewish people, against the Jewish state. It's a certain type of directed anti-Semitism. It's not just the Jews are evil, it's that the Jewish state needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. And in some cases, the language used is language that suggests annihilation, elimination, genocide. And so the point being that this is the kind of anti-Semitism of our time that we're dealing with. And yet, it's not the anti-Semitism the left is in fact concerned about. And there's been a left-wing campaign led in the case of X by Media Matters, but now you've got all these corporations, and I wanna name them. You have Disney, you have Sony, you have Warner Brothers, Paramount, IBM, Marvel, Lionsgate, Washington Post, NBC, CBS, and they are pulling their advertising from X. Now, first of all, this is a very interesting list of corporations. Now, they've subsequently been joined by Walmart, and I'll say a word about that later. But what I want to say here is that notice that they're all media corporations. These are not random corporations. You don't see car companies here. What you're seeing are information companies that are, in a sense, not only in competition with X, but you can say are upset at the fact that we've seen a big move away from traditional media, traditional studios, to social media platforms. Think of it. Look at NBC and CBS. They've seen, for example, massive declines in their viewership relative to social media. Think of the Washington Post, Lionsgate, Paramount, Warner Brothers. So this is a cabal that is using the pretext of anti-Semitism. X is not anti-Semitic. Elon Musk is not anti-Semitic. I don't know if you saw Elon talking about his trip to Israel. This is in the conversation with Aaron Sorkin, where Elon Musk is wearing this chain, and it turns out to be apparently given to him by the mother of one of the hostages, and he's going to wear the chain until the hostages are all free. But just listening to him talk in a quite moving way about Israel, about the targeting of the Jews, about his identification with people who are in that situation, you can see there's not an anti-Semitic bone in Elon Musk's body. Now, this is a guy who will, I think at one point he shared a particular item of content that he then regretted, and he apologized for it. But when you're calling someone an anti-Semite, you're not saying, hey, he shared a piece of content. You're saying this is who he is. This is kind of his nature. He's a hateful person. He doesn't like Jews, this sort of thing. And it's not true. Well, it's not true in the case of many people who are accused in this way. The ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, has almost made a sort of a reputation with smearing people as hateful who are not hateful. In fact, they smear Chaya Raichik, who is Jewish and an Orthodox Jew to boot. They smear her as sort of, she's a hater. She's part of this kind of the type of person who needs to be banned on social media. even though you've got somebody here who is very attached and loyal to the Jewish cause and the very opposite of an anti-Semite. Look, I think the message of all this is that we simply have to start doing to these corporations what they're doing to X. And I realize that's not always easy to do, but it calls for a disciplined change in our habits. When Amazon decided not to carry our DVDs, I told Debbie, I said, look, there may be some things we have to buy on Amazon, but if we don't have to, let's not. Let's try to find it somewhere else. So what if it takes a week to get here as opposed to getting here the next day? I realize there are advantages of convenience to shopping on Amazon, but when these companies are doing this to us, when in a systematic, coordinated way, attacking our values and attacking really the only mainstream free speech platform that's out there, namely X. I mean, this is just horrifying. They're trying to extinguish free speech in America. We should at least do our best not to contribute to what they're doing. During times of economic uncertainty and political upheaval, it's crucial to have a reliable source of financial guidance and insight. That's why Dr. Kirk Elliott, PhD, and his esteemed wealth management advisory firm come into play. Dr. Elliott has distinguished himself with 2 PhDs in economics and theology. He's built a reputation in expert financial solutions tailored to your unique needs. His firm specializes in wealth management, offering a comprehensive array of services to protect and grow your assets in an ever-changing world. In an environment filled with economic volatility and shifting political landscapes, finding a trusted partner during these challenges is essential. Dr. Elliott's firm employs cutting-edge strategies and a deep understanding of markets to guide you toward financial success. Go to KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh. By the way, that's Kirk Elliott, 2 L's, 2 T's, KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh. Book an appointment. They will explain their process about investing. That's KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh, or call or text 720-605-3900. The number again, 720-605-3900.